Hi, this is Chris, Chaplain Camp Motor Legends. Today I'm going to talk to you about a new jean from the Swiss brand Rokker. It's an upgraded, it's a new Revolution waterproof jean. It would not be incorrect to suggest that I feel that here in the UK at least, the Rokker brand was very much shaped by their original Revolution jean. That is this jean, the jean that became known as the jean in a box. It was the first Rokker jean that we certainly ever marketed, but it still took us some years to become persuaded of its merits. This jean was presented to us by at least 3 different distributors here in the UK, and in fact the plonking of the wooden table on the boardroom, of the wooden box on the boardroom table, became somewhat of a running joke for us. Any jean requiring such a box for its marketing must be a gimmick, we reason. And then one day a chap came into the shop and he had a pair of these jeans on, and we got talking to him, and he said, they're the most amazing jeans I've ever worn. They're comfortable, they're lightweight, and they are totally waterproof. So Sarah and I booked tickets on Swissair to go over to Switzerland to meet the Rokker boys to talk about the jeans. We came home convinced. At that time, this jean was one of the lightest jeans on the market. It was a single layer jean, it looked good, it wore okay, and it was amazingly waterproof. This jean proved to be as waterproof as the very best Rokker pant, for example. Now, once word got out about these jeans, they became incredibly popular. There hadn't been anything like it on the market ever before, and in truth, there still isn't. There are other so-called waterproof jeans on the market, but they have drop liner membranes, and what that means is that in heavy rain, the water just soaks into the denim becomes incredibly heavy, and you get cold. They just didn't work because they wet out. The Revolutions, by contrast, have a laminated membrane, so they never wetted out. They keep the rider, or kept the rider and still keep the rider totally dry. We sold a bucket load. But when Rokker's new single layer Rokker jeans came along, we kind of lost some enthusiasm for the Revolutions. And that's because the Rokker were so much lighter and more breathable, they were much more comfortable, they were much easier to wear. In fact, they wore, felt and looked just like a normal pair of street jeans, like a pair of Levi's. They were also, of course, as a motorcycle jean, much more breathable. The problem, of course, is that they weren't waterproof, but they were so much nicer to wear, so much nicer to ride in, that we reasoned that the hassle of putting on a set of waterproofs now and again was not a major inconvenience for most of us, especially as most of us spend a lot of time avoiding the rain. Our thinking was that one can make a breathable garment, like a jean, totally waterproof by putting the waterproofs on the top, but you cannot make a highly waterproof garment breathable. So the better option in our view was to start with something breathable and then make it waterproof if needs be. But there was still a demand for the Revolution jean. It was perfect for those who wanted to commute in a jean. In fact, if you wanted to commute in a jean, it really was the only option. And some felt also that the old Revolution was the perfect jean to go touring in because you never had to stop. It was the kind of jean that you could wear pretty much in all conditions. Now, the old Revolutions were not, in our view, perfect. We didn't particularly like this denim effect. It didn't look particularly realistic, although I have to say that it got better over time with washing. The jeans also had a very relaxed fit, and that didn't suit some people. In fact, if you were very thin, if you were very slight in the leg, the jeans could look faintly ridiculous. The jeans did have a quite impressive 3.1 second slide time, but they were only A-rated under EN 17092. So the Revolutions, they were always a class act, but some 5 years after they were launched, they perhaps didn't quite seem as special as they were at the beginning. But now there's a new Rokker Revolution jean on the market, and it's pretty impressive. The formula is the same. Waterproofing comes courtesy of Schürrle's C-change membrane, and as it's laminated to the inside of the outer materials, to the denim, you are going to stay totally dry in this jean because it will never reach the state that we call wet out, where a garment just becomes soaking wet. So in really heavy rain, if you're riding for 2, 3, 4 hours in the rain, this denim is going to become damp, but it will never take on the water, it will never become totally waterlogged. And that's important because any motorcycle garment that does become waterlogged is very quickly going to cause you to feel somewhat cold. Now, the C-change membrane has another quality. In the heat, the molecules in the membrane open up to let that heat out. When it's cold, the molecules close up to keep the heat in. So the membrane helps to regulate the body's temperature. Now, we don't want to get that out of context. If it's freezing cold, these jeans are not going to make you feel warm, and if it's super hot, they're not going to make you feel cool, but they will play a role in helping you ride perhaps a little bit more comfortably. There are a couple of other improvements with the new Revolutions. I think the new denim is much more realistic looking. The denim on the old jean just never looked quite right. It got better with age as you washed them and wore them, but I think this new denim looks like a proper Japanese style pre-washed denim. Now the denim's also a little bit heavier than the denim on the old Revolution, and that may explain why this jean now reaches the AAA rating under EN 17092. And I think that's very impressive to have a AAA rated single layer totally waterproof laminated jean. There's nothing like it on the market. The jeans come with highly pliable SASTEC protectors in the knee and the hips. This isn't, I've got to say, our favourite armour. On the Rokker jeans that we sell, we fit D3O, and we kind of wish that these jeans had also come with D3O, but for whatever reason Rokker decided to use SASTEC. It's perfectly good, it's just as soft, it's a little bit smaller than the D3O armour, but that's what they come with. And so, in conclusion, I think it would not be wrong for us to suggest that we are once again excited by the Revolution Jean, because this new version is definitely a step up. We really like these new Revolution jeans. We haven't had much of an opportunity to get to know them yet. We've not ridden in them because right now we're going through a heat wave and there's no rain around, so we haven't used them in anger. But we can hazard a guess as to what they're going to be like to ride in and what they're going to be like to wear. In some ways, of course, they're going to be similar to the old Revolutions, but they are heavier. They've got a heavier, thicker, stronger fabric, so certainly they're not going to be any more comfortable. But they are much more protective, so perhaps or conceivably they're going to be more reassuring to ride in. One difference, and I think it's a very significant difference, is that these jeans have a much more tapered fit. The old jeans had a fuller leg and they had a bit, let's face it, a bit of a dad fit. These jeans have a much more modern look, but this fit may well make them a bit sweatier than the old ones. Now, what happened with the old ones, when you got into temperatures of upper 20s into the 30s, we sweat to cool down. That sweat couldn't escape fast enough and the jeans could become a little bit sticky. I don't think that situation is going to be improved with these jeans. If anything, I think it's going to get a little worse. Now, Rokker suggests in their literature that their AAA rated Revolution jean is totally breathable. Clearly, that is complete nonsense. There's no such thing as a totally breathable membrane. But when you use a membrane, either laminated or drop liner, inside a heavy fabric with a close fit, then I think these jeans are not going to be, I don't think the breathability is going to be their key selling point. Bottom line, however, is these jeans are going to be just as waterproof as the old jeans. They're going to look much better and they are going to be more protective. And for many people, that's going to be a winning formula. The stronger fabrics, however, means that these jeans are more expensive. The old Revolution jeans were $350. These jeans are going to come in at about £400 at the time of recording this video. In conclusion, the new Revolutions are really more of the same. These are not the jeans that you want to be wearing on days like today where it's 30 degrees outside. But when it's colder and wetter, or when it's just cold, these jeans are going to be pretty nice to wear. Technically, the new Revolutions are not exclusive to Moto Legends, but few will stock these jeans because they are simply so expensive. And I don't think there'll be any retailer in the UK that will hold them in all of the sizes, all of the waist sizes and all of the leg lengths in the way that we do. So if you've had a pair of Revolutions in the past and you think it's time for an upgrade, come and see us, try them on. If you've never had a pair of laminated waterproof jeans in the past, then maybe come and try them out. Well, I hope you found that interesting about the new Revolution Jean. If you want to see more Rokker products, then visit the website motolegends.com. If you want to learn more about the new Revolutions, then click on one of the links on the screen. Sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there. Once you're on the relevant page, you can check out the spec in a little bit more detail. You can check availability, and obviously you can buy a pair there and then if that's what you want to do. Now, when you buy from us, we try to make the process as simple, straightforward, and as risk-free as we possibly can. There is no delivery charge on any item of protective wear that you buy from us. Returns are totally free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. We have the best price promise in the business. Now, John Lewis was rightly famed for its never knowingly undersold price promise. We go one stage better. If you can find a competitor who's selling anything that we sell at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat that competitor's price by a full 10%. Now, there are a few terms and conditions associated with what we call the price beat, nothing particularly onerous, but if you are going to price beat us, then I suggest you visit the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. If in the future you'd like to see bulletins from us about new product launches, then again, if you go to the screen, the website, the top of the page, there's a piece of script that says newsletter sign up. Click on there. In future, you will receive bulletins from us. If, however, you would prefer to get your information videographically, that is to say in this form, then we would be simply delighted if you want to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, and you can do that by clicking on the button below. I'd like to finish with a little play for our shop here at Motor Legends. We are based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the railway station, and as I've suggested, it's a small shop. It's got a small footprint, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have now more than £3 million worth of motorcycle merchandise that range over 3 floors. That technically makes this the second largest motorcycle apparel store in the UK. But we think that we are far more than just the amount of merchandise we have here in the building. We're all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. When you come and see us, we'll serve you only the finest Italian illy coffee, or we'll serve you proper Yorkshire tea in a proper teapot. And if you're lucky, you might even get to sample one of our delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.